This machine is practically based off of like a traditional little prison machine here. This right here is just a regular little beard trimmer motor. But anyways, this part of the CD player, I could actually take this part off and make this part fit down on top of this wheel after I take this whole barrel setup out. And I could make a little sander out of it. I could get some sandpaper and stick it onto the backside of this, and I could grind names off of TVs. I could do all kinds of shit.
What's up? Derek Hoskins here, straight out of Missouri. I also go by Tats by D, or I also go by Ink Slinger. I got the name Ink Slinger because on every time I tattoo, it's always been a ritual of mine. I just sling ink everywhere. Like, it'll get on my clothes, it'll get on my floor. There probably ain't one thing that I don't own that does not have ink on it.
Sometimes you can't get these stains off of the chairs, but the chair is completely sanitized in less than minutes whenever you spray your chair down with this stuff.
I was around 13 years old at the time. Yeah, I just had turned 13 actually, and I had an uncle that he tattooed on the side and tried to hustle people. You know, he did really crappy tattoos, what as we call them kitchen scratchers. I always was helping him with patterns, things like that, and I became drawn to it. And then one day he made me really angry, and so I stole all his tattoo stuff. I had the right that I felt like I needed to stand up and take something from him that he took from me, and I felt like he took respect from my family. So I did what I did, and till this day I actually still have my first tattoo machine from that kit that I stole from my uncle on my wall till this day in my booth.
Find yourself a hustle, or else you're really not gonna make. If you go to the prison system and your family doesn't really send you no money, man, because you messed up, you know, they don't really want to provide for you while you got locked up for something, you know. They've probably given you chance after chance. So for the people's families that cut them off, you know, those people have to find hustles. You know, they have to find ways for them to be able to make money and eat canteen and stuff, because the food in the chow hall does not feed you, man. It only holds you over, you know, and then in literally 2 hours you're hungry again.
Beautiful bright colors going in the skin.
There we go.
I mean, I was doing things that I should have never been doing, man. I was seeing things that I should have never. I was getting my dad was getting calls from the cops telling them that they were looking for me, you know what I mean? Like, that's hard when you put your family through that, you know? And here I am, just some small town kid running around with a backpack on his back full of a tackle box full of tattoo shit, you know what I mean? That's what I was. We became best friends. We instantly linked up, and believe it or not, Lane actually founded this gang. He started it. We all linked up and we started Small Town White Boys, and we just started wrecking crap after that, man. Started putting the patches, like I said, we came up with our own patch design. We came up with our own set of 42 bylaws. And then it got bigger. We started doing more dangerous stuff like stealing, breaking into cars, breaking into houses. A lot of us got arrested. A lot of us were in and out of rehabs. So throughout like all that, man, Lane was really kind of the one that got me going with all of it. Like, he was the one that shot the idea to me, and I took off, and we both were like president and vice president, you know what I mean? We were like Trump and Pence. And we ended up getting plugged in with some really bad older people that really pushed a lot of dope through all through Missouri, and you know, we were like their little prodigies, man.
All right, let's break it.
Stomp on it.
When we wanted to break the CD player open, we would actually throw it on the ground and break it. So we didn't have to mess with these small screws because we couldn't get screwdrivers in the joint. So there's the motor at. There we go. There's the motors. Now these flatter motors, they're considered called a pancake in prison. because they were flat like a pancake. They were very easy to conceal. I've actually got a pancake prison tattoo machine tattooed on my hand right here. And then I've got a tattoo violation on my hand because I got caught a lot tattooing in the joint.
When it came down time to me and Lane having to prove ourselves to the rest of the people, to make people fear us and not to ever step to us, fuck, we would do anything. We were pulling guns on people. We were beating your brains into the sidewalk. Like, it was crazy, man, that we were just doing this out of a little small town. Drugs became involved probably about 6 months after we started really kicking off the gang. They came fairly quick. Then that's when the money started coming, you know. I was probably around 14 years old, you know, is when the drugs and everything really started coming into play. That's when I really got hooked on some harder drugs, because I started smoking marijuana when I was like 12. That kind of always helped me out. Even in my artwork, it kind of always helped me out. It relaxed me from the anger issues that I had, the resentment issues that I had towards my mother. I mean, there was a point in my time where I became so dependent off the money aspect and the K2 that I was smoking a 50 gram bag to my face every single day. And that's no bullcrap.
Off canteen and then decided you wanted to dismantle. You use black tape or white tape. So really, in reality, I would take this, but this makes a really stinky, shitty smell, and this is a professional environment, so I don't want to burn all this off. But originally, you would burn this coating off of these because there's a plastic coating on here. Once you burn that coating off, you get pure copper, so you get a hard connection. Yeah. So that's the start, right?
I had been up for about 20-something days at the time. I was not in my normal mindset. I was on that mindset of, I cannot stay awake no more. No matter how much I do, I cannot stay awake. It's time to go to bed, but I need to make more money. And I got in my car and I drove down Highway 24 going into Moberly, Missouri from Madison, and I made it 9.5 of the 12 miles that I was supposed to make it to make the $2,500. I felt fine. Like, I didn't even know that I didn't even know that I was tired to the extent where I could pass out and not even notice it. And that's what happened was I come up by the racetrack, which is called 24 Raceway, right there in Moberly, Missouri. The little S-curve there, falling asleep at 70 mile an hour, and drove into the oncoming lane and hit a full-size truck head on. And when we hit, they drove over the top of my vehicle because they tried to swerve and miss me, and they didn't swerve good enough, I guess I should say, because we hit dead on front end to front end. They said the vehicle that flew in the air from jumping over top of my car, my car turned itself into a ramp, if that makes sense. And they said the car was flying higher than the treetops that were lining the side of the road. And when their vehicle landed, it landed down in the ditch on the other side of the southbound lane, and it caught on fire, and people managed to somehow get the vehicle out. Well, when it came down, it killed the passenger in the other vehicle.
That's how this is gonna sit. So it's actually gonna sit like this. My motor's gonna sit on top of that pin. Alright. But first, without breaking this, I'm gonna have to put a little bit of heat to it.
I felt right at home. I felt like nothing could stop me because at 16 years old in that environment, I wasn't scared. I was not scared at all. I went in there telling myself that either I'm gonna make this place my bitch or I'm gonna die here. And that's what I did. And so I stayed in county jail all the way up until I was right almost till I was about to turn 17. And I finally took my plea bargain at 10 years at 66%. I was shipped off to the Department of Corrections. I stepped foot on my first level 5 prison yard, which was JCCC, when I was 17 years old. There was no way to get out of my case. I was guilty as guilty gets. That was just tearing my family apart, man. Like my family, I don't know how many times I'd seen my sisters crying in agony tears as I was getting hauled back off into the jail because I just denied a plea bargain. You know what I mean? I was not taking a life sentence. They had that fucked up. I need to go about this by changing venue of my court and getting a better judge that can give me something better and teach me a lesson in a sense, but also not hang me for my mistake.
Light in the clear part.
We're doing optimization problems right now.
Go. My whole arm, guys, was done with single needle, except for this one. It's all single needle. Would come through and your needle, like no joke, I flushed an entire blanket down the toilet once. Barrel, wires, prison made, man.
Wow, that only took
Now you got yourself the prison machine, the infamous prison machine. And now these tips, so.
I'm in a way grateful for prison, for making me the man I am today, because prison taught me respect. Prison taught me how to get out and get the money legally. Prison taught me how to get out here and be a family man and do everything that I was destined to do, but never really could do it because my mind was so cloudy.
This is what I specialize in. I specialize in this dark, evil, gory shit. That's what I love to do. I can do any style. I'm versatile, but this right here is my true calling. This is what I love to do. This is what I have most fun doing while I'm tattooing.